going to have design quarterback runs, as you seen on that video coming to this segment. He's going, when you get into the red zone, when you get in short yardage situations, they're going to be a lot better than they were because, again, when your quarterback's a runner, you gain an extra blocker. You have to pull that safety from the middle of the field of a defense. You actually got to put him into the box, so it forces one-on-ones on the outside. And Taysom Hill showed last week with 233 yards passing or something like that. He showed last week that he has enough passing ability to be able to hold defenses honest and keep you backed up so that he can provide some space and find some space to run the football. So I think it's a tremendous opportunity for Taysom Hill and Sean Payton and this whole New Orleans Saints offense. I don't think Taysom Hill will be great quarterback for 16 or 17 weeks. Maybe he can develop into that. But you talk about for a short stint, a month, 3 or 4 games, I think he's perfect. He's the perfect guy for the job in New Orleans.
Yeah, Mike, Rob, you talked about his ability to read those safeties and the coverages, and I think that's one of the things that he realized, man, it's a lot different playing 65 snaps as it is coming in and playing quarterback for 5 snaps. You know, the one thing that just kind of that showed up, which I think should be to expected, Taysom Hill, he missed some throws. He definitely missed some reads, but the one thing he can't do is he can't miss the simple, easy little routes. He skipped the ball to Emmanuel Sanders on a 3rd down, easy throw. He almost threw the interception down there in the red zone. So I think some of those throws are things that he's going to have to find a way to eliminate from the game so you don't stutter and stub your toe. But no doubt he's going to be better this second time around. There's the skip and rock one where he one-hopped it to Emmanuel Sanders. You don't want your receivers to get frustrated if they're open and you can't get them the football. But I absolutely think Taysom Hill will get better in week 2. Things will slow down a little bit, calm down a little bit. But let's be honest, too. Taysom Hill could do some things that Drew Brees can't. You saw the highlight of him running for a touchdown on that scramble for 10 yards. That was a busted play. Everybody was covered, and he made something happen with his legs. That's a new wrinkle to this Saints offense.
Listen, Colleen, you talked about this Denver defense, 43, 30, 34, 37, and then last week much better against the Dolphins. You look at that and you say, oh, this is a defense that he should be able to take advantage of. This is still a tough defense to prepare for. Now, look, they're not at top form, and they haven't been since Von Miller went down in the preseason. But this is still a defense that can create fits and force you to kind of decode what is happening here. So I think Vic Fangio could create some issues for Taysom Hill as far as his ability to throw the football. They've allowed, I believe, just one 300-yard passer this year. So Taysom Hill and Sean Payton and the Saints offense are going to really have to create some things on the ground, because there could be some problems when you try to throw the ball through the air. And if you can get them in a position where they have to do that, now it's advantage Denver.
And Taysom Hill, he has the luxury of having a lot of things going for him on the Saints team. I mean, you talk about a really good defense, good special teams, and a running game. Now, obviously, they're the 8th best rushing offense in the entire league. Taysom Hill, big part of that, had 2 rushing touchdowns last week. Alvin Kamara, though, he leads he's 2nd in the league in scrimmage yards per game. Now, it wasn't as involved last week in the passing game. Had 0 catches for the first time in 55 career games. So we'll see if Taysom looks his way a little bit more. But this defense, 3rd total, 2nd rushing. I mean, they got after Matt Ryan, sacked him 8 times. They're allowing the fewest points per game since week 6. So we'll see if Taysom Hill can replicate what he did against the Falcons. Obviously, a little different with Vic Fangio's defense, but we'll see what happens in Taysom Hill's 2nd career start. Also, another guy.
The team's 395 yards, either with his arm or his legs. Now, this week, the challenge for the Patriots, stopping Kyler Murray. Good luck with that, because not too many teams have been successful. Murray comes in with a shoulder injury, but expected to play. And Jason McCourty said, look, he is just killing teams with the way he moves in that pocket, because obviously he can make every throw. You've seen that time and time again with Kyler Murray. But then there's that question. He moves around in the pocket. Is he going to run? Is he going to take off? He's already had 8 games this year where he's rushed for at least 1 touchdown. The Patriots defensive backs, if they peel off, then Kyler can drop it over their head. If you stay back, then Kyler can tuck and run and kill you that way as well. Difficult challenge for the Patriots, and they better have a much better plan than they did against Deshaun Watson.
Hopefully that's the case, Mike. Thank you. The Patriots defense, normally a strength, but right now they're allowing 24 points a game, a completion percentage approaching 70%, and a passer rating of almost 100. All three are the worst of the Belichick era, which began back in 2000. And as Mike Giardi alluded to, it's going to be tough to improve those numbers against Kyler Murray. All right, time for something that we're calling trust or bust. At 6-4, the Cardinals, one of many teams that has shown flashes, but also has some weaknesses. All of these, there's so many teams out there that have some major flaws. So you have the Packers, the Browns, the Seahawks. They all have great records, but they also have some issues. So we're going to run through some playoff contenders here, tell you who's trust and who could be a bust at this point. So I'm going to start us off here. And I'm going to go with the Cardinals. And listen, I trust the Cardinals, so everybody calm down. I'm not saying they're a bust, but I am saying I'm a little worried that there is an increased bust potential over maybe the next 2 weeks here. Now, I'm concerned about that defensive line because they never really got over the loss of Chandler Jones. Now they added Corey Peters and Jordan Phillips there to IR. And they have two teams coming up that are really good rushing offenses. You have the Patriots and the Rams, both top 10 running teams. So I'm wondering if some of these teams are going to maybe try, I don't know if they have the personnel to do it, but try to follow the Seahawks blueprint and how the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, running the ball, taking some shots at Kyler Murray. We're told that Kyler Murray's shoulder isn't going to be a problem going forward, had the sprained AC joint in his shoulder. We'll see if that's the case, but for now, they are for sure a trust, Jeezy.
That was a trust? That's how you describe. Colleen, you've got trust issues. I'll put it to you that way, okay?
I do.
That wasn't
Thank
a trust
Should we talk about them more?
explanation to me. I'm going to do the Dolphins here, and I'm looking at a 6-4 team with the Jets and Bengals coming up here in the next 2 weeks, and I would describe both of those games as winnable. So now you're looking at a potential 8-4 team, but you notice the graphic hasn't popped up yet because I haven't gotten to the bust portion of the program. So you can bust this team right now because I'm looking at the Chiefs, Patriots, Raiders, and Bills down the stretch. I'm a little worried about that, but I'm also worried about the numbers that they have put together while getting to 6-4 because they should be better. 240 yards per game since week 8. That is the last in the NFL, and they were only 22nd in the NFL in yards per game with Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. And then this is the big one, minus 720 total yards this season is the third worst number in the NFL. Only the Jets and Jaguars worse than that right now. So this is a team that's got a little bit of fluff in its record right now, I think. And good for them. This was not the year that they were supposed to be arriving. So good for them to be even in this conversation. They take the ball away. That's allowed them to stay in games and win games, but I'm busting the Dolphins right now.
You're busting the Dolphins, Jeezy. I hear you, brother. But I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders, right? And I'm going to say I'm trusting the Las Vegas Raiders. And I never would have thought I would say that I'm trusting the Las Vegas Raiders. I used to say the Raiders were the graveyard for guys' careers. But honestly, I think Coach John Gruden, I mean, he's underrated, man. People, they know him as a character, but I don't think he's appreciated enough for the X's and O's and what he's done with his offense. Derek Carr's playing out of his mind right now, completing explosive passes down the football field. And really, they can beat you any way you want it, right? If you want to play that physical style of football, they just line up and they give the ball to Josh Jacobs. And what that does is it creates short third downs, which makes this team the best third down offense in all of football, converting over 50% of their third down conversions. And then when you're running the football, it allows you to get those explosive passes. 5 touchdown passes from Derek Carr on explosive passes. And again, you would think all of them would have went to Henry Ruggs. That's the speed of this team. No, all of those touchdowns went to Nelson Aguilar. So I like what I'm seeing with the Las Vegas Raiders. Hopefully they can keep this up as the playoffs approach.
Yeah, Darren Waller has been unbelievable. Well, look, I'm going to turn this into the trust tree, which means that's going to make Mikey G the outlier, which is nothing new for him. But I'm going to go trust right now with the LA Rams. And, sure, I mean, it's probably just because it's your typical, outside zone run game, outside zone play action, outside zone screen game. it's the offense putting up points. Maybe that's why I'm doing that in the trust tree. What if it's not? What if it's something that we've never seen before? What if it's something really cool that we didn't even know existed, like an unbelievable defense for this LA Rams team? Brandon Staley's been phenomenal. This defense has slammed the door on the running game week in and week out. They're creating all kinds of turnovers. They're not giving up the big play. This Rams defense has come to life, and they are the reason why I'm trusting the Rams to go on and win the